Hello, I'm Danny Barnts with the CCAA, and I'm here right now with the head coach of the Sonoma State men's basketball team, Rich Shayewicz. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Well, you guys have already played 7 games in your season so far, so we're just hoping to learn a little bit more about the Seawolves and hear it from your own words. So let me just start with a couple simple questions here. But 7 games into the season, what have you learned about your team to this point in the year?
Learned a lot actually. We have 9 new guys, so really overhauled our roster. We have some good returning players, but with 9 new guys, it's been a challenge just to keep them moving in the direction that we need to be moving, teach them the things that they need to know, and how good Division II basketball, how good our league is. You learn so much every night. You learn so much every day in practice, but the game nights are the test, and lots of times you get exposed, or you can expose another team. But unfortunately for us, we've been getting exposed a little bit, but we've dealt with some injuries, and we're hopefully on the way on mending back to where we're full strength, and we're continuing to learn and do the things we need to do for success.
Well, let's just talk a little bit. You have a unique situation this year because you were kind of a dual coach last year, coaching the men and the women. You are with the men only this year. So you talked about 9 new guys. I'm just curious, did you get to recruit most of these guys, or is it still in this whole process? Are most of these now your guys in the team?
Well, they're all my guys, regardless if I recruited them, because I'm the head coach. So,
Love it.
but as far as the roster, I would say 90% are the guys that I recruited here personally. There's definitely an overhaul of the roster, and it's been a different transition than what it was in the past.
And coming out of COVID, it was so unique anyway. So that's just wanted to hear, as you were in a very unique boat, but great to have you on the men's side of the game now. And so let's just talk a little bit about your team this year. As you talked about, it's 9 new guys, but it looked like you had the opportunity to bring back your top 2 scorers. And Jalen Wells was named the conference player of the week this week. Could you just tell me a little bit about, maybe a couple of your returners and what they bring to the court for you?
Sure. Well, last year with the unique situation, I was coaching both teams. I think it was a little, it wasn't as fair as it could have been to the student athletes, getting all of me and learning completely what I wanted, what we wanted to do, bouncing practice to practice, team to team. So I think with our returners, Jalen Wells, as you mentioned, a really dynamic player and good young. He's just a pup, but really has improved. And with Nick Klarman coming back, and he's a 5th-year guy, really high basketball IQ. So those guys were able to pick up what we're doing pretty quickly, and they're able to share their knowledge and their experience within our system to the 9 new guys. I count on them a lot, along with another senior, Damian Wallace, as guys that have a voice, that can perpetuate what we need, and kind of pass on the knowledge. So we've been counting on them quite a bit.
Fantastic. I also had a chance to just look through some of the stats about you guys. Your team right now is second in the conference in field goal percentage, about 47% a game. Free throw percentage is great up there as well. But if I were to ask you, not look through the box score, not look through the stat sheet and see the stuff, what are some strengths of your team that maybe don't show up in the box score?
I'm trying to figure that out, honestly, Danny. We are, one of the things that we really tried to deal with after last year's season. We were last in the league in rebounding. We really tried to boost up our play so that we can compete on the glass every day. I knew that we had a lot of guys coming in, and with those returners, we were probably able to score some more points than we were last year. We do have a unique group, just because it's 9 new guys, and getting them to gel and blend together has been the challenge. My expectation for the group is to be way better defensively than we have been. I think that's where our shortfalls have come, is on the defensive end, and that's what we're building on. I think with the small amount of returners and the small amount of experience of what CCAA basketball is, we're constantly learning. So we are fresh, we are open-minded, we are a little stubborn at times, but I think we'll get there, knowing that the expectation for us is to continue on being a high scoring team, but we have to get stops. You've been in this league long enough to know that if you can't defend, it's hard to have success.
Absolutely. So you maybe touched on this a little bit, but I just want to hear from your perspective, maybe your ideal situation here. So let's say somebody in the GNAC is scouting you guys, haven't seen you in a couple months. They're scouting you in mid-February. What do you want them to go back and say the identity of the Seawolves is on the basketball court?
Well, our first goal every day in the gym and on game night is to be the toughest team on the floor. And toughness comes in so many ways. It's not only the physical aspect of toughness, right? They're also the mental aspect of making sure that we don't get pushed around, and we're mentally tough to deal with the ups and downs of a team, of a game. Whether it's a call that we disagree with by the referee, or that basketball is such a game of runs and we have to be able to weather the storms of teams coming at us. And so I think the mental and physical toughness is a big part of how we want to be portrayed. I want to be portrayed as of having great teammates and being really connected as a group. The way we play requires a lot of guys to be connected. So I want to make sure that we are connected at all times. We play super hard. And at the end of the day, I want the other team to walk off the floor, win or loss, and say, you know what? Sonoma State plays super hard. Those guys are connected. They care about each other. They're selfless. And, it was a great battle.
No, great answer. Thank you very much. You have probably touched on some of this, especially with your idea of toughness and everything. But let's be honest, it's a very long basketball season. You're conditioning with them back in September. Your first practice is right around October 15th. And you continue to hope your season will improve, especially with so many new guys out there. What would be some steps for improvement, or what could be something your team could do to be better on March 1st than it is on December 1st?
That's a great question, Danny. We have to, as coaches and as the players on the team, they have to commit to doing their part every day. Bring it every single day. We have a couple new guys that are significant parts of what we're doing. But two returners being starters, and I got a freshman point guard starting, and a couple transfers that are in the starting lineup and coming off the bench are more new guys. So being committed and doing their part to learn what we're doing, and B, perpetuate all these things we just talked about being tough mentally and physically, right? Being connected and doing their part to try to be as connected as possible, and being selfless. With everybody comes with different agendas. Everybody comes being the best player where they were, and they have to sacrifice. And sacrifice is a huge part of what we're doing. So every day we're talking about those things, particularly. Like I mentioned earlier, we have to commit to the defensive side of the basketball. And for some of these guys that have come in, some believe in defense, some have been coached the right way to understand what we're doing, and some just need to learn more. But I think an overall commitment to our goals as a group, an overall commitment to defend as a unit, right? And I think we can get there as we're moving forward.
Fantastic. So I don't want to be trying to invade the space too much of the locker room. Obviously, there's a lot of conversations that go on in there that are just amongst the team. But if what you're willing to share with me, could you tell me maybe some of the goals you and your team have laid out for this coming CCAA season?
The goal is one thing. The goal is to improve every day. Bottom line. I mean, it's no secret that, we won 3 games last year. It's no secret that we had to overhaul the roster. So our goal is to improve every single day. That is it. And like we talked about, that's all those things that go along with that to improve every day. What we say every day is everything matters. Everything matters. Whether it's how you tucking your shirt in practice, whether it's calling a guy's name when we pass to him, right? Everything matters. So our goal is constant improvement, and I think we can get there.
Well, fantastic. Well, you guys will have a chance this weekend. You guys are on the road for a little bit of a test this coming week. You guys will be at Cal State East Bay on Thursday and at Dominguez Hills on Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. And so you guys will jump right back into it. As mentioned, you guys already have one CCAA game under your belt. But Coach, just thank you very much for just taking a couple minutes, stopping by and talking to us and sharing us a little insight about the Seawolves.
Thank you.